What is going on, guys? The real Sherif M here, aka Manganas Steel, and I'm back with the penultimate knife in the series of kind of designer highlights here with Enrique Pena. And today we are going to be talking about the Trapper. The Trapper. This thing is so ridiculously popular. It's justified. Let me just say that right off the bat. It is absolutely justified. This is a wonderful, wonderful knife design. It is based on the traditional slip joint, and even you can see there's a little nail nick right here for opening it up. And this is, again, part of Enrique's tradition of doing modernized traditional knives. This guy is small, for sure. Let me give you like a concept of it real quick. If you own a GRAZIOSO, check this out. I mean, it makes the GRAZIOSO look massive. It's going off screen here, you know. And I don't consider the GRAZIOSO to be a huge knife personally, but man, you put it up next to a Trapper and the GRAZIOSO looks massive in comparison. But this is a truly wonderful EDC knife designed, as I said, by Enrique Pena, and it comes in this bolster lock. This was a special edition in burlap micarta, which used to be very difficult to get, but I believe Smoky Mountain Knife Works actually still has a bunch of these in stock. They saw the popularity, and I think they commissioned a bunch of them, and they still have them. It's been a little while since I checked. I think the last time I checked was around Father's Day, and they had them. And to be frank, I've honestly thought about buying a second one so I could really like hammer on it and use it as like a really discreet, everyday carry knife. But, too many knives, too little time, and too little funds, man. I think one is enough for me right now. But we have a nice little, 2 3/4 inch blade here with a flat grind, nice little short bezel. I think this is, how thick is the blade stock here? Yeah, 0.17, or if you go for millimeters, comes in at a solid 3 millimeters thick. It is not a big boy. In my hands, it's a solid 3-finger knife, which is plenty. You get a nice, good, solid grip on it. And again, I say it in every video, but I have extra large to double extra large hands, so that should give you a sense of the scale of this knife. Incredibly comfortable in the hand. Absolutely wonderful to use on an everyday basis. If you're opening up packages, get some stuff from Amazon, even if you do a little bit of light food prep with it, it can do all of the general EDC tasks as long as you're not asking it, in my opinion, to take down like big cardboard boxes and stuff like that. I mean, it can, but it's not something that I would really like push to use this for. Beautifully executed, beautifully manufactured by Riot, as with all of the Pena X series. Bolster lock, which I mentioned, which I am just, God, I'm a sucker for a good bolster lock, man. I mean, look at that. And then look at the satin grind on the blade. I know a lot of you go for stonewash stuff, but having a nice two-tone flat two-tone blade where you got a nice vertical satin grind here on the primary bevel and on the swedge, but you have a nice polished flat, just says class to me, man. Like, I don't know. I don't care about scratches or anything like that when it comes to my knife so much. That's just reference of use, you know. I'm not looking to resell these things, but man, this thing just takes a little everyday licking and keeps on ticking without any real issues. I mean, mine looks like I've never used it before, and I have, so it's kind of crazy, you know. Such a really, really well executed design. As I mentioned, this is part of his series of knives that are based on old slip joints. And when it comes to that, there's really nobody who does that better than Enrique Pena, honestly. He's kind of the king of it. He has said before on more than one occasion that the people that he looks up to are the traditional slip joint like makers. They're the people that he holds in high regard, and he is always trying to match their kind of quality and capabilities. And it's really nice from my perspective that he shares his passion in these modernized forms. Because really, like, for a lot of us who have gotten used to modern knives, we're looking for quick deployment, we're looking for one-handed deployment and usability. It's just kind of where the market has moved. So there's not as much appeal for, you know, two-handing a knife, having, you know, locking or the half stop and the full stop, and, you know, feeling the pull weight. Like, it's just, the market doesn't really look for that stuff as much anymore. So to bring the patterns of the traditional slip joints into these modernized forms, I think is really like an ingenious move by him. And if you like sort of the traditional looks and feels, but you really wish that they would be made for today, Pena is your guy. Again, he employs his front flipper kind of approach that he did here on the Lanny's clip. And in my opinion, it's a failure-proof way of doing the front flipper, and it just sounds really good. Let me see if I can get this on the mic. Man, that sounds just so solid, so secure every single time. And it really gives you confidence that you can use this thing, you know, for whatever little thing you can imagine using it for. It's very comfortable in every grip. In a pinch grip, it's really nice. In a hammer grip, it's really nice. Doesn't feel like it's going to move around on you. This actually, curve right here, meets perfectly with this curve in my hand. So I actually always feel like I have a very secure grip on this guy. Reverse grip is nice. I can even choke up on it and almost get a full 4 fingers. The full 4 finger grip for this guy, given how thin it is maybe the least comfortable option for me. I'm way more happy 3 finger gripping this knife and just holding it tight. It locks into place really well. Let's see, how thick is the handle here? Comes in at about 13.25 millimeters, or in inches, comes in at 0.52, 2.5. So it's a little bit thicker than you might initially think given the blade thickness, but that's really what makes it feel like nice in your hand. And the scales are contoured, really, really beautifully done. No tangible seam here between the titanium and the burlap micarta. The only potential complaint I do have about this knife, really, I'm not sure if this is going to show up as well on camera, but this little edge right here, I wish they kind of knocked it down just a little bit from the factory. Just a little bit. Sometimes, depending on my grip, I may feel it. I don't often feel it, but I have before, and it's just one of those things where it's like every attention that could be lavished on this knife has, and just a little bit right there, just to kind of smooth that edge down, or bring that edge down, I think would have really made this thing completely perfect, for lack of a better way of putting it. So, man, I'm not sure what else to say, you know. The Trapper and the Lanny's clip front flipper are just two absolutely wonderful traditional patterns that have been brought into the modern world by Enrique Pena, and I cannot imagine even improving on these designs. The pocket clips are great, you know, if you watched my Mula video, I'm not much of a deep carry pocket clip kind of guy. I like to have a little something. And Enrique's sort of distance right here that he accounts for the pocket clip, right? The distance from where it transitions into a flat surface here and this angle is just the right amount so that you can get a nice grip, draw it out of your pocket consistently. And if you look, every single one is just like that, including the Mula here. Exactly the same, just nice. And it's not the exact same pocket clip. It's very similar, but it's not the same. So he's not even cheating it that way. It's like each one has their own scaled pocket clip, but the proportion is done so well that it gives you a consistent feel across the entirety of the brand. This guy being the only difference, this one has more of a flat surface pocket clip and a little bit of curvature here, but again, just kind of disappears in your hand. It's really well done. So no even criticism for that guy here when it comes to the pocket clips. It's just this whole modern series or X series that Pena has been doing are just killing it, man. Like I really admire Enrique Pena almost more than most of the knife designers. His attention to detail, his nods to tradition, the construction, manufacturing, all of it on point. The opening mechanisms are always really, really well done. And material choices, everything, right? This is why I'm such a fan of Enrique Pena. It's not flashy. It's not flashy, but it's exceedingly well done. Every single detail is perfect, or damn near, like 99.9% perfect, honestly. And that's Enrique Pena. And I pray one day I get the opportunity to meet the man and tell him exactly that sentiment, that he is one of my favorite designers of all time, and I am so blown away by his attention to detail. Like if I ever had a chance to be apprenticed by anybody in this industry, or be an apprentice to anybody in this industry, there are two I would go for. Enrique Pena, number one, Bob Trezola, number two, or vice versa. Those two switch back and forth for me quite a bit. But yeah, this shows my passion for Enrique. So I hope you like this little designer's look at the Trapper, the penultimate in this series of Enrique Pena knives. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, and be kind to one another.